Data purchase. BM001 Block 2 Unit 6. Today we have the topic attitude and attitude change. The contents what today we are going to cover: introduction, attitude and consumer decision making, the constituents of consumer attitude, the functions of consumer attitude, the models, and the marketing response to the consumer attitude. Let us know about the attitude. Very often it's a common term being used in the market that your attitude is not good, your attitude is bad, like that. So these attitudes, when it comes to consumer decision making process, so if it is an object or you can say it's a service, the favorableness and unfavorableness being shown by the customer. So attitude is a learned predispositions. We heard about the predispositions, that is in the Howard set model. The predisposition means any particular product, services, attribute where we can able to develop our attitude. So that is very much strong motivation towards that, to develop your attitude, whether it is in the positive or negative. So when it becomes learned predisposition means day by day, what is it happening? We are gaining the knowledge regarding the product or services. By this process, this sometimes the attitude is positive and sometimes also that attitude towards that object will be negative. It depends on that favorableness and unfavorableness of that particular product developed by the consumers because of the kind of stimuli what is getting it from the market. So every time the stimuli is it coming from the environment and bombardments are there, so that and what way this stimuli is going to affect a particular person's and trying to develop the attitude towards any object. And another way we can say that it is a relatively enduring organization of interrelated beliefs that describe, evaluate and advocate the respective objects in the situations. Sometimes we called it as that we are developing the attitude and it's also being controlled by the beliefs. So we have too many kind of beliefs. Beliefs may be related to religions. Beliefs may be related to a particular territory. Beliefs may be related to particular states, related to particular family, belonging to a particular social class, belonging to a particular society. So beliefs are different, but that is also equally controlling your attitude, because when the beliefs are very strong about a particular kind of things, very often these kind of things are happening in the marriages, that beliefs are very strong, what kind of things should do, what kind of things should not be done, like black colors, right, red colors. So color wise also there is a difference. Then practices, we can say this is a good practice, this is a bad practice. So functions cases mostly will find that is the attitude being developed and that is being controlled by the we can say that is your beliefs. So constituents of the consumer attitude, and three components mostly controlling our attitude when we are going to say, here is also you are going to find the belief is there, one the component: affective, cognitive and cognitive. So what is affective, what is cognitive and what is cognitive? That is the same thing we are going to again understand very well when we will go through the models, attitude models. But before that, let us go through what are the three constituents. First one is affective. Is a part of attitude refers to the feelings that a consumer has about even also. Means what is it happening? The moment we have seen any particular kind of product, like we have the first impression that is a bad, good or something. Sometimes it's by look, or sometimes it's by shapes or the functionality of the product what you have seen from a distance or somewhere. So that is instantly we can able to develop the attitude about. So that's the feelings mostly. That is what we call it as affective. Cognitive part refers to the information and knowledge. Day by day, after developing the attitude towards any particular object, we are trying to gain some knowledge regarding that particular product. So when you are trying to gain some product knowledge regarding that product, what is it happening? That the information, some positive information and some negative information is coming from the product or services. So during that particular process, when we'll see that positivity is more, so our development of attitude will be more positive, and negativity will be negative. So knowledge about a particular product also sometimes changing the attitude of the customer. Third one is the cognitive. So what is cognitive? Cognitive refers to the intention of customers in relation to the object. Means what is your intention? Means here the that feelings that we can say that is your belief is plays a great role. That sometimes you know it very well by but developing a particular attitude towards a particular family. Our family plays a vital role. So what kind of practices they have done earlier, that is with all the family members what they observed, that is the same thing we are carrying, because we as we are the sibling of those parents, so we are carrying the same thing. But that is the belief may remain for so many days, and sometimes belief may not remain for more days. Because of that, if the bombardment of informations will be there regarding some positive attitude may be developing, but most of the cases that changing from beliefs to a positive attitude is quite difficult. But in the course of time, if it is too many kind of positive things if you have seen, your belief can be also changed. Functions of the consumer attitude mean what kind of things are there by which we are changing our attitude. So first is utilitarian, then value expressive, then ego defensive, and knowledge. So we'll go one by one to understand how the function is affecting consumer attitude. So knowledge functions, as we discussed already that as we grown up, when we are in the children's stage, our attitudes are different. But when we have grown up, we learn too many things from the different sources. We got the information from the society, we got the information from our family. Then we read a lot of books where we can able to develop the attitude towards the different kind of objects. And might be some cases we like something and we dislike, we like something or dislike something. We can predict a person's behavior by knowing their attitude. So by seeing and similar kind of things, mostly what is it happening, that we can able to develop that whether this is good or bad. And sometimes similar kind of conditions also, although the things are good, but as this particular kind of conditions are not conducive enough, so that particular cases we can develop that there is a negative attitude toward that. So the knowledge function refers to our desire for a world that is predictable and stable. So always we are going to think about this is predictable, that this is good and this is bad, as from the informations what we are going to get it from the environment. But it's not always true, because every time the scenario is being changing. Like we can say that the attitude towards when the COVID came to the world, that particular time people are very much afraid of. So the first instances everybody is afraid of that. Very often we may die. Our purchase behavior will be mostly panic behavior has happened. But when the mutation takes place and several other variants came, so after that some way people have adjusted and they came to know that attitude are changed. That they came to know that any medicines which are available in the market and we can solve our problem very well. So do not be panic about this COVID-19. So these kind of things can be changed only because of that there is an environmental change, the level of knowledge being happened. People have earlier less knowledge. Later on, either different government sources or interacted with the doctors and so many other government organizations. They have helped a lot to educate the people regarding the furiousness of that particular disease and how to develop such kind of behavior or activities so that you can protect yourself, or you have to take the medicines to protect yourself. That is the knowledge functions mostly what we acquire during the process of time. Ego defensive functions. So sometimes what is it happening that we like something and finally we have seen that this product is not good. So in order to protect that our own status, that I like this product, how can it be very wrong? So sometimes we are trying to develop the positive attitude. So that is sometimes also biasness is there. Although we have seen certain brands are very nice, but because of our own ego, we are very much brand loyal to a particular company. So we may not shift to the newer brands by evaluating. Although we came to know that this is a good brand, but still also our ego is not accepting that particular. So that means protecting self-esteem. So our self-esteem is going to say that yes, these brands are good and these brands are not good. So even if the brands which are not good, if they perform very well also, still we are not ready to accept it. So we called it as a consider, we are what we are considering that may not be socially acceptable. Like everybody is talking about a particular brand is good, and sometimes what is it happening that we are not accepting that that brand is good or that services is good. That is what we called it as a ego defensive functions. Value expressive functions is that it is a human tendency that any product or service is what he purchased or gone through, then mostly he is going to narrate it to their friend circles and in groups or family members, where when he communicate these particular informations, he is always trying to give the value of that particular product and services. By this, he is trying to develop the attitude of the people, those who are. That means what you have reflected, mostly you are trying to capture the attention of the public or the people, and they have to develop the same kind of attitude towards that particular product, because what the value you can consider and you can able to know, and that is mostly you are communicating the same values to the customers, and the customers can able to know that yes, that kind of things are there, so definitely they are also equally developing the same kind of attitude. So here the value expressive functions refers to the role attribute attitudes play in expressing an individual self-concept and core value. So you are sometimes associating your own personalities with certain brands also. That you are going to say that if I am like that, and I am also liking this kind of products. So that you are also communicating others that as I am this, so that's why I'm selecting this kind of brands. So here there are means through which they can communicate their values and beliefs also. That is they're going to do to the customers or the friend circles mostly or the family members. Utilitarian functions. This is utility based, means the function drives individual towards the rewarding and pleasurable objects. So where we are getting some pleasure, then we are going to think that is the attitude is good. Where we are not getting the pleasure. Let us say if I'm going to talk regarding if we are going to consume a fast food, if the taste is very nice, then we are developing the attitude that is it's a very nice food. Although that from the government instructions are coming, or the doctors so far they are going to say regarding these products are not good for that one. But as it is satisfying and it is giving a reward system or pleasuring atmosphere to you, so utility based that the things you are going to do. Sometimes we can say that this is the attribute based, certain products having the attributes which is not possible or present in other products, where you can able to show that this is giving more pleasure to you, the like the clarity in certain TVs or the quality of services of any particular car or something like that. So where you will find the utility is giving a kind of advantage which is not you are going to find with the competitors. So that is what we call the rewarding and pleasurable, and by this process also we are developing our attitude is positive towards that. Now, factors influencing attitude. So, which are the factors mostly our changing our attitude? Because always, very often, this is also happening that as human being, we are developing our own attitude towards any particular object. But still, you are not purchasing same object from the market. What is the reason? The reason is that this is the factors influencing attitude. These factors plays a vital role, which is controlling your attitude also. Sometimes, what is it happening? Your attitude towards a particular product is positive, but when the time passes, later on might be your attitude is not positive, might be neutral, or some days after may be possible that your attitude to whom it was positive may be negative. So how the factors are affecting to you like that? So social factors. Most people in many societies love to lead a harmonious life and they avoid conflicts and contradictions with the people. So when you are going to discuss with the people in you are belonging to the different groups, and the groups you like most, so they may influence you towards a particular, or they may dislike also certain kind of products. So they try to influence your attitude. So that is mostly happening in the case of your social factors. Next is a direct instruction. In some situations, direct instruction can contribute to the formation of an attitude. Like I can say that the instructions are coming from the government. The instructions somewhere we have seen that in the on the product being written, it is changing your attitude. Like I can say that the example that once in the advertisement, government instructed that there is a pesticide available with the Coca-Cola and Pepsi. So people have not used consumed that one. So after up to 1 2 years, people have not developed their positive attitude toward that particular brand. Later on, also the same problem happened with your Maggie 2 minute noodles. So that is the same problem occurred, that people have not gone for Maggie for at least 1 to 2 years, and the retailers thrown it because of the instructions came that Maggie is also equally have the pesticide. But at the same time, that the same kind of product we are going to find, that is EP from ITC, and that product nobody, government has not given any instructions to there, so majority of the people have also purchased this particular kind of thing. So this is what direct instructions. So instructions are coming, might be from the a particular specific groups, or instructions may be coming from the government. Sometimes instructions are coming from also the our we can say the holistic kind of things are coming, or we can say like that a particular religious group, they are also trying to control the instructions by giving the instructions, the your attitude being controlled by this one, and they have also the role for developing the attitude towards the different kind of products. Next is the family. Family cases is the most important group, what we are going to say the reference group. Those who have the primary reference group, we can call them, where we are spending much of time with those people. So they have the attitude, great attitude changer. Means even if also when you are selecting any kind of jobs, mostly family plays a vital role to select which kind of job is good, more positive, and which one is negative. So even if also brand wise, if you are going to select any kind of product, although you are purchasing the product, certain brand cases as already they have seen several times, might have purchased or listened from the different relations regarding that particular brand. So they may not want to experiment if the brand fails. So that's the thing. Mostly family try to control the behavior of individual by giving the positive or negative informations regarding a particular kind of product, whether it is influencing or it is not changing, or they are changing. All those cases, that is created vital role, because of family is the primary people, those who can able to influence. And sometimes it is happening also as individual is focused on a particular kind of product or brand, but later on it has happened that family member changed that particular thing. So that is happening. Prejudices are preconceived judgments or ideas where individual develops. Prejudices are many. Just like I can say, country like India, you will find every state there is a kind of prejudice. In our religion, there is a prejudice. As your area belonging to the different area, prejudice. Village area, prejudice is different. So these prejudices are from the different form, and we are being completely controlled by the prejudices. If I can say that the color-wise dresses, if we are going to wear during the different occasions, that is based on also prejudices, because as we are practicing certain kind of religion, so religion practices are there. So we are mostly obeying the religion practice. We do not want to do anything wrong which is not acceptable in our religions or in our community. So we are not accepting this one, although we do not know what is the utility or what is the acceptability of that particular thing. Next is personal experience. So personal experience cases, we have seen also day by day, every day we are being bombarded with too many kind of brands and products. And besides that, also we have utilized the different kind of products. So one brand failed in a particular product is also losing the market by for this particular kind of customer. Let us say if I'm going to take the example like if you have purchased a boat speaker and the speaker is not performing very well, then even if also you are going to purchase a boat that is smartwatch, so you are not willing to purchase because already you have experienced that brand is not performing well. So one of the product from that particular brand is not performing very well, that is your personal experience, you have seen that product has not felt good with you, then your attitude is negative towards that particular brand or the company. So that's why that particular cases you may not purchase these brand, other products also, not the same product, other products also you are not going to purchase. Next is the media. Very often we have seen we have the tendency to develop our attitude what the advertisements of the products are coming. So if you have not seen the brand, so we are not able to develop the attitude of ours. So few cases like that, the advertisements are either coming through the electronic medium or print medium, like newspaper. Every day we can able to see, and TV. By this also we can able to see. And besides that also, people are in the market, they are talking about the brands. Mostly reference groups are talking about the brands, or we can say that the retailers and the suppliers, they people are also going to talk about the brands. Then we are believing a lot. We are going to talk about. So advertised products attitude is better than unadvertised products. So that's why we are going to say media has a great role to change the attitude of the customers by showing the features, by going through the different appeals, by showing the products through the different advertisements. Maybe sometime we can say also celebrity endorsement advertisements has a great impact for the cosmetics items and other products. Even if also children chips and other thing cases, if we will find that people are consuming that one, or the film celebrities are consuming that one, it has a great impact to the children to consume that kind of chips and other thing. Now, educational and religious institute, these are the most vital people, those who are shaping the attitude of each individual people. So, because we are from the educational institutions, from the beginning of our life as a student, as a child, so every time we are interacting and we can able to believe blindly when our teachers are talking about a particular thing. So here, whatever the things they are going to give, whatever the methods they are going to follow, whatever the products they will say to use, so all these things we are accepting very well because we are believing them very high. And second is the religious institutions. If we are going to talk regarding if it is a temple, if it is a masjid, if it is a church, so everywhere you will find the kind of practices told by the religious leaders. So we are strictly following. If it is a pandit is talking regarding something, so we are trying to follow because we are also equally afraid of about our religions and other things that if we are not going to do something may happen. And that is the same thing also happening with the Muslim communities, Christian communities, all those Buddhist monks and other cases, what to do, what not to do. So they are developing the attitudes toward that. Physical factors, disease, accidents, malnutrition of the serious inferred with the normal development of critical behavior. Means when we have seen that behavior, then our attitude is changing towards that, how we have seen that people are taking the bad foods or they are unable to take the right foods for them, what kind of things are happening. So very often because of that also sometimes we are purchasing more into the medicines and more into the ayurvedic medicines or homeopathic medicines, where we are finding that it doesn't have any bad impact. So we are, although it's not required also, still we are trying to purchase because the physical factors plays a vital role to develop the attitude. So people are thinking that as the attitude is positive towards that brand or product, so definitely why not we are going to purchase this kind of product. So this is all about that the factors influencing the customers, and that is the attitude being developed. So now we are going to think about the what are the different models, and these models how that is developed by the behaviorist to know what is the attitude and how attitude being affected by this particular kind of models. So let us go through by one models to understand it, that how these models has a great impact on consumer, and the consumer attitude is also being changed by these models. Like we'll start with the tri-component model, but I already told these models we have already discussed some extent, but we'll go more detail about that one. That is cognitive, affective, and cognitive. That three components what we have discussed. That second case is multi-attribute attitude models. So here how the multiple attributes is going to affect your attitude, that we studied. Then attitude towards object model. So any object when you are going to develop our attitude, so that is also we are going to see object to object the attitude is different. So that we need to see that how it is attitude is being going to change. Behavior intention. So behavior intention, here we are going to find the beliefs, how beliefs and developing, evaluating your attitudes both are parallelly helping us to develop the attitude. Means sometimes if the belief components is very strong also, it is going to affect a lot to our attitude. And evaluations cases, when you are going to do that, we are evaluating it very well, then also that attitude is developing, and that attitude is going to affect a lot to the consumer. So tri-component models, it starts with the attitude has three components: cognitive, that is knowledge and beliefs. Second is affective, feelings and emotions. and behavioral, overt, and behavior. So cognitive cases we some extent discussed, that is knowledge and beliefs, and affective cases feelings, each individual's feelings. Sometimes we are going to say blindly we are supporting somebody, and we are going to say that. And behavioral, as we have already understood a particular kind of behavior, so our attitude is just like I can say also small things regarding that one. So all the wise cases we have seen that the kick is in the right hand side, and Bullet has started with the left hand side kick. When he Bullet came to know that all the kicks started with the right hand side, for the customer it is quite easy to do that one in the right hand side. So he also equally changed the Bullet. Recent Bullets, what we are going to find, all the kicks are in the right hand side. So that is behavioral aspect cases, that when we are accustomed with certain kind of behavior, our attitude is also positive. So let us go through the first one, that is cognitive component. Cognition is the basically making decisions going through a thinking process. So cognitive, we can say that cognitive thinking, and we discussed also some extent in the case of your learning. The Ulgam Kohler has developed that cognitive theory, so where you will find that is the decision making is best. Every individual can able to do the decision making by a thinking process. So there, how the chimpanzee kept in the cage, and one bunch of banana is in the top, and the chimpanzee cannot able to jump that to catch that one banana. So one table was there. So after some times, what Urgam Kolor has seen, that the chimpanzee has taken this particular table and stood on the table and consuming the bananas. So that is what we called it as also human being has also the thinking process. If we'll put them this people, that those who are unable to understand anything also, they can able to understand after a certain time, because each individual human's brain is also has a thinking process. He is thinking that what can be the solution kind of things for the different problems. So thinking process can occur on the basis of knowledge and perception that are already existing in our mind. So when we are thinking, so something is there in our brain, that is perception is there. That means what we have perceived about a particular situation, about a particular product, then we are thinking more about that, and with the knowledge our thinking process is changing. So the attitude what we have developed at the early stages might be going to change in the later stage in the life. So that is what the cognitive part or cognitive component part, what we have seen in this particular cases, that how it develops the attitude. Affective components, very often we have seen that although the product wise we have the knowledge regarding comparative analysis, but sometimes we are purchasing certain products without analyzing the product will perform or not, but we are purchasing. We very often we have seen that the decorative items, like I can say that if you have been to any tourist place, you will find lot of products are there, and look wise, color wise, this is very nice. So people are ready to pay that amount of money to purchase this kind of product. By this process, they are unable to know that what kind of product is it, whether it will remain for more days or not. The sustainability of that particular product is a question mark. So knowing all these things, because they are emotionally too much attached, so that's why they are purchasing. Then second aspects, I can say that if it is a sofa sets, or I can say that if it is a perfume, all these cases you will find that the emotional feelings plays a vital role. Sometimes some of the perfumes, the smells or fragrance is too good that customer is ready to pay whatever the amount they want to pay. So there is no yardsticks to measure that this is good or bad, but they are ready to pay for that. And when I told regarding the furniture, so some of the furniture so I also look wise very nice. So without thinking of that, what quality of product is it, or how many days it will remain. So the durableness of that particular product not able to think, but at the same time they want to purchase, because of that they are emotionally attached with that kind of product or that kind of colors, or that looks very nice. And people have certain emotions regarding the attitude objects, either favorable or not. So sometimes we can say there is a emotional attachment with the brand. Sometimes we can say there is a emotional attachment with the product. Sometimes we can say emotional attachment with the kind of services. Like I can say that there is a feelings that people those who are moving by the flight, or people those who are moving by the train, or people those who are moving by the car, or people those who are moving by the public transport, they have the emotions are different. Like if people are going to change them also, sometimes their attitude is not positive or negative like that. So this is how is it happening, because they are emotionally attached with that kind of transportation. So changing them is quite difficult in that, but later on process, this attitude may change. We cannot say it's 100% true that attitude never going to be changed. Attitude is going to change with a span of time. We cannot say overnight it will change. Cognitive component. So this component we are going to find likelihood or tendency. This final component is concerned with the likelihood or tendency that a specific action will be undertaken by individual regarding attitude of an object. So here cognitive cases, the believability is it coming. So although your knowledge wise you are going to think this product is good or bad, something like that, and there is emotional attachment with that particular product, but still one of the things is it coming that your family members told that this kind of product is not good, or your friend circles told never try to purchase this kind of product, or never try to purchase from this particular brand. So these are the things are the very strong beliefs. Sometimes strong beliefs are also changing the other things. So here we can say the cognitive component is more powerful than the other components which is going to change. But each has their own relevance. Like I can say that if intention to buy is also very low, that means if I'm going to say that believability is very strong about the bad product, but in the course of time by the knowledge your attitude may change. It may take some time, but it may be 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, more than number of years, but later on your attitude may change. But if the strong believability is there, that is what I called it as a cognitive component. So it is changing, this one will take much more time, and sometimes also it is not changing at all. Now we are going through the multi-attribute models. So multi-attribute models cases, what is it happening? That the attitude towards object model is suitable for measuring attitudes towards a product or services category or specific brand. So when we are going to talk regarding a particular product, whether cell phone is good or bad, whether 5G cell phone set is good or bad, or we can say that Redmi cell phone or Xiaomi cell phone is good or bad. So when we are going to talk about the brand, we are talking about the product. So both the cases you are developing the attitude, because all the products not purchased by all the customers, all the people are not accepting all the brands of the product. So it differs from time to time. So here this model says that the consumer's attitude towards a product or specific brands of a product is a function of presence or absence and evaluation of certain product specific beliefs and attitudes. So through things are happening, what is your belief about the product? What is your belief about the brand? So brand products are different. If I'm going to say that sometimes you liked too much about the product, but because of the brand you may not select. Like I can say, I can give the examples like if Mojerware is going to make a TV and is already made, so the LED TV may not be purchased by the customer because there is a strong attitude or positive attitudes to our Mojerware, that is DVD or CD, but by a very small price model or brand, when it comes to the high priced brand, people are not eagerly accepting that particular brand. So that is happening. So that means product might be good, or we do not have the knowledge because as the brand has not highly priced. Just like I can say that sometimes earlier people are believing, nowadays being changed, that for the Maruti car with the higher price, it's better to go for the Hyundai car or Honda cars. That was the concept earlier, because when you are enhancing the price, then you are selecting the different brands which are very popular with the higher price products. But later on, Maruti can able to prove himself as the Vitara cases. He has started with the very high price item, so he can able to sell it very well in the market because of that thing. So it will take some time that a particular brand or a particular product will be accepted by the customer. So brands sometimes that shifting from one category of product to next category of product, the acceptability or attitude development is not same. Because that if I'm going to say that the attitude scores, if you are going to calculate for Samsung brand of all category of products, starting from cell phone to pen drive to TV to sound system. So all those cases, the scores are not same, and customers' attitude may not be same. So it differs from time to time. So that's why presence or absence and the evaluation of certain product specific beliefs and or attributes. So beliefs, when you are going to do, also you are equally calculating the attribute wise whether it is good or bad or something that you are going to calculate. In other words, consumers generally have a favorable attitudes towards those brands that they believe have an adequate level of attributes. Here it is always, we can't say it's a true that whether you are very much interested for the number of attributes or the utility of the attributes. Here what is it happening that some of the brands you might select that on the basis of that the attributes are more. Like I can say that how the Samsung was quite famous for the cell phone. People have shifted from the Samsung cell phone to the Redmi, Realme and other brands only because of that. In the same price structure, when they have seen more features are there, what we called it as an attributes. So more attributes and brand wise that is not so strong if they consider by the customer that if they will compare Redmi versus Samsung and they consider that Redmi is not inferior brand than the Samsung and they are getting more attributes in Redmi than the Samsung, so the customer may switch over from Samsung to Redmi. So that's the kind of thing will happen. But sometimes the quality of limited attributes, like I can say regarding the iPhone, if you are purchasing iPhones, might be less number of attributes, but each attributes functionality or each attributes importance or each attributes qualities are much more superior than the other. So that's why customers are there, those who are ready to pay that amount of money. So here believability and adequate level of attributes. What is the minimum level of attributes you require from this particular product and how strongly you are believing that particular brand is plays a vital role. So that is what we are going to study in your multi-attribute attitude models. So we have three models. First is the attitude towards behavior of multi-attribute model, then theory of reasoned actions multi-attribute model, and third one is attitude towards object multi-attribute model. So these three models we are going to read it now and we are going to understand it very well. Attitude towards behavior of multi-attribute model, and crux of attitude towards behavior model is that it seems to correspond somewhat more closely to the actual behavior than does the attribute towards the object model. So actual behavior what you are trying to show and that behavior it will going to change or not, that you need to study first. So taking on from liking BMW, we may say you are not ready to buy or drive one because you believe that you are too young or old to do so. Like very often what we have seen that in the case of insurance, sometimes the attitude of each individual towards insurance is different. Although they have the capability to buy, but the attitude is different. Like I can say that you take the example like health insurance. So very rarely people have the knowledge regarding the health insurance and the utility of the health insurance. So although they have that lady model, everybody can able to remember the Chhatri one. So she described one of the cases, the advertisement is that how fast the Airtel is giving internet services than the other brands. So that is what he is showing this one in front of everybody to it is faster than that. That is what we called it as a consumer himself is evaluating. But other cases how other people are evaluating. But this is possible cases that when you will go and you yourself verify with the two sets at the same environment and verify which speed is very high. So that can also be possible. So this is what that one cases you are going to do for the each attribute cases, how speed is it the run of your cell phone, that is BI. Second is that same attribute you are going to study by taking two cell phone sets with the two internets and you are going to see that how this particular same brand is doing this one. Or if you are studying the two, either you are going to do for two services or you are going for the two products. If it is a two services, same product with two services, and if it is a two products, then same services with two products you are going to do. So that is the kind of evaluations you are going to do. And this is the summation. Summation means BI, EI, that means B1 plus E1 plus B2 plus E2 plus B3 plus E3 up to BI and EI. How many attributes that particular product has All the attributes you are going to evaluate, that is belief, evaluate by the other people told about that one, how strong this particular attribute is there in that particular product. Second case is that you as a customer is going to also evaluate that particular brand with the different kind of product sets. And finally, what is the score is it coming? If it is the positive score is coming, then your attitude is positive. If the negative score is coming, your attitude is negative. Next is the theory of region actions model. So what is the region actions model? This model represents a comprehensive integration of attitude components into structure that is designed to lead to both better explanation and better prediction of the behavior. So here what you are going to do, region actions. Let us go through this particular model. We can able to understand it very well. Here two sections are there. One is your, you can able to see the second box, that is attitude towards the behavior and subjective norm. These two things are controlling your intention. So that two things also depending on two things. One is that beliefs that the behavior leads to certain outcomes. So you are believing, and that belief developed through the members, those who are interacting with you, that what are the certain outcomes will come. Means the outcomes, what can be the outcomes? If you are running your internet, it will take this time to download this entire particular thing. This MB can be downloaded by this process. That is your you came to know from your friends and other people. That is the belief. Evaluation of the outcomes. You are evaluating whether that is the thing what you have the knowledge from your friends. That is the same thing. Is it happening with your sets or not? If it is not happening, then there is a mismatching. So mismatching cases, the attitude towards the behavior will be different. Means if it is mismatching, then it will be negative. It is more better, then it is positive. Second case is beliefs that specific referents think I should or should not perform the behavior. So believing that this kind of behavior is good or not, or that is being, second case is that behavior is supported, means motivation to comply with the specific reference. So how many people told that this kind of thing is right? So if the people are going to say that this kind of cell phones will work max to max 2 to 3 hours if you are in the running mode. So then you are going to motivated by this one. Yes, it is 2 to 3 hours means I'll be happy. And another model is going to say 2 to 3 days. You are more happy on that one. But when you are trying to evaluate beliefs that specific reference think I should or should perform the behavior. So I have to see it verify that what the behavior or what the things told by already the friend, that is the subjective norms. What is the subjective norm is it coming, and what is your part is it coming? So this is the standardization, means all the models cases, this is the standardization is it happening, that is subjective norms. And what is it happening with your product, that is mostly you are going to see both the cases, attitude toward the behavior and subjective norms. You are trying to match whether both are, if it is the attitude toward behavior is better than the subjective norm, what is it coming, then you are going to find the intention is more positive. But both are trying to control your intention. So when the intention is more positive, then your behavior is also positive. So here what is it going to happen? Your strength of the believability and the strength of the belief behavior, your evaluations of that particular outcomes and the evaluations of that particular behavior told by this one, both the cases it is coming attitude towards the behavior, subjective norms. So both the things is tending towards the intention and how intention is trying to change your behavior. Now attitude towards the object multi-attribute model. So here when the product has the multiple attributes, so how you are going to evaluate the attitude of that particular product. So that is can be possible, that is developed by already the great behaviorist, that is Fishman's model. So ATO we can say attitude towards object model, and he has developed that one in 1972. It's the same equation what we have seen the previous cases. A is equal to summation of B into E. Here it is B into I. So that is the difference between that one. So I is the, here you are going to find the attributes cases, what you are going to find importance of that attribute. So there is the number of attributes you have seen, but here it is the believability of that particular attribute. If I'm going to say there are 10 attributes of a particular product, so what is it happening? That your importance for that particular attribute is not there. Like I can say that if you have purchased a 55 inches TV, and that particular case is the screen size, what we are going to say, that is you are going to find The screen size is bigger, screen size is flat, screen is LED, screen is that is ultra clears. We are going to say ultra HD system is there. So all those cases, these are the all attributes. But if you will find that if it is written ultra HD or SD or something, it is not going to affect a lot. So that particular cases, you are having a preference that I am going to select the attribute which is really has some impact on me. So that's why there is no importance. Some of the attributes you may give importance, or if you have a sound system connected to your LED TV. So the speakers, what they are saying that this kind of speakers you are going to get it in your TV, that has the less impact on you because that you are going through the external device sound system. So that particular cases we can call it as a I, importance of attribute, that I for the consumer key. So all the customers are not giving the same importance to all the attributes. So few customers are giving the few attributes cases, not all the attributes cases, but company has at least 20 attributes. We can able to know at least 25% of the attributes, 75% of the consumer decision is based on 25% of the attributes. And 25% of the decisions of the customer is based on the 75% of the attributes. So that is the kind of thing which is there. So that's why here AJK is equal to B, JK into IIK. So here you are going to find that the I attribute, then J is the product, which product you are going to take. K is the customer. Here it is the product versus customer. It is just not like all the customers are same. Here the customer to customer, the importance changed. So that's why this is the equations for individual basis. But this is the equations for the lot of people cases you are going to find. That is just all the people are giving the importance to that particular attributes, and you have taken those attributes and calculated and finally depth of attitude. But here each individual, where he is giving the more intention or more attention to the attributes, that attributes you are going to take and you are calculating this particular thing. And overall attitude score of the product J for consumer. That's why A is not for all. It is for a overall attitude of the product for one product for one customer, and what is the score, and that product customer is going to say this product or this brand of product is good or bad on the basis of these attributes, because attribute wise the product differs from one to one. So that's the kind of thing you have. Last one is the behavioral intentions model. So here you will find BI model. This is the extension of the Fishman model. So here what we will find, B is equal to BI, means behavior is equal to behavioral intention. So both the cases we can say what is your behavior, that is the intent, because ultimately you are going to purchase the product. So that's why this is equal to W1 into AB plus W2 into SN. So here two things are there, attitude towards performing the behavior and the subjective norm. We have already discussed these two things in the case of that particular model. What is the attitude towards performing the behavior? So each individual is going to evaluate to know that what is his attitude and behavior towards the project. And second case is the subjective norms, means that particular product cases what the else people are giving these particular things, that what is the standardizations being given, that this particular minimum things must be there. Just like we know it very well that a cut-off points cases we are going to say this score must be more than cut-off points. If it is more than the cut-off points, then most of the customers are purchasing. If it is below the cut-off points, you may not purchase. Like you are going to think that a vehicle must have the fuel efficiency. If it is a two-wheeler, must be fuel efficiency more than 50 kilometer per liter. So that is fuel efficiency. You have given a standardization. So if this things is your vehicle is coming more than 50 kilometers, then that is coming under this one. If it is not coming, that so behavioral cases BI is equal to W1, that is the weightages. So weightages it depends from person to person, that what kind of weightages you are giving to the your attitude cases and what percentage of weights you are going to give. That is the standardization given by the public and other things or from the different sources. So that is mostly behavioral intentions when we studied, and here also you can able to know the behavior towards of yours towards that kind of product, whether it is a positive or negative, that from there. And it is the last part, that consumer attitude measurement and scale. Although this is not there, but the development at the end we need to know about the how attitude can be measured. This is another sessions can be total. We are not going through the total things about how attitude and scales are there, but only we need to know that how attitudes can be measured. So this is basic categories. We have the direct measurement system and we have the indirect measurement system. So direct measurement system, we know it. So many scales are being used. So we know it very well that nominal scale, ordinal scales, okay, interval scales, and then ratio scales. The four scales are there. But besides that also, we are measuring through the Likert scale and semantic differential scale. So Likert scale is being used to know extent of your liking list. Let us say if I'm going to say Likert scale being used, 5-point Likert scale if you have used, that is strongly disagree, disagree, neither agree nor disagree, then agree, then strongly agree. So that is the way you are going to study the attitude of any individual customer. So attitude towards a specific brand. Let us say I'm going to say that 40 inches of LED TV of Sony, how it is superior than others or not. That is you are going to study through the Likert scale. So this is the scores they are going to give. That is where it is strongly agree this, it is better. Strongly disagree, it is not better. Something else brand is better. That you are going to find here. Semantic differential scale. So here two poles are there. I'm happy, I'm unhappy. I liked most, I disliked most. Like that, two poles are there. Within that, how are you going to give your attitude scores? So you are going to give the scores here is more and here is less. So it is negative part is more or positive part. On the basis of that, the neutralize that the mean of that particular score being calculated, where mean is more than that value, the minimum mean value. So the score is more than the mean value. So there we can say that this attribute of that particular brand or product is better and rest are not. Indirect measurements. So indirect measurements cases mostly we are going to follow the projective techniques. Projective techniques is like we are going through thematic perception test to see what kind of pictures you are accepting. You have the positive attitude and what kind of pictures having the negative attitude. So when we'll show the different kind of pictures to you, different kind of thought process to you, so you are developing your own attitude, whether it is positive or negative like that. So that techniques is there. Second is that the implicit association test. So implicit association test cases, sentence completion test, then we are going to word association test. So these particular cases, any word is coming. Let us say if I'm going to talk regarding a red color, if I'm going to talk regarding a green color, how people can able to associate that with the different brands or how they are selecting these particular brands on the basis of color or something. So that is mostly it happening in the case of your implicit association, and story based also there. So where we can able to see that that particular story ended or by selecting a particular kind of product or selecting a particular kind of brands. I think that this particular session will be very nice one to understand very well about the attitude and the attitude measurement scale. Thanking you.